I am surprised that it went up to 24% from 16%.
Yeah.
But something like 70% of the poor people in Ann Arbor are college students. So that's something to think about. And the college students would include the single mother who's trying to raise 3 children and taking a course at Washtenaw or Eastern Michigan, as well as the future doctor who's finishing up an internship or residency and for some reason doesn't have much money. But for most college students, the future income is going to lift them very well above poverty. But with this recession, you can imagine a lot of unemployed men and women who would enroll, and when asked the question, are you enrolled in college, they say yes.
Yep. And taking a couple classes and hoping to turn their career around. But
getting a degree that'll get them a job somewhere, are not constantly reminded of it. There are panhandlers here, but there aren't very many. We have very few derelict houses. We have no schools that are viewed as terrible schools partially because they have poor children and troubled children. We have none of the urban, I shouldn't say none, we seem to have very little of the school violence that bedevils Chicago. So it seems to me this is a hard place to raise money for poverty unless you're talking about alleviating poverty in Bangladesh or something like that. But it's, there is this real problem of the short-term problem of unemployment. That's a very serious one now. But in the best of times, you'll have people who go through difficult times in their lives. Their marriage unexpectedly ends. They've had a business and it's suddenly wiped out. What does society do for those people? And the answer is relatively little. We have some unemployment compensation and so forth, but it's not that unusual for a middle-class person to fall into poverty. If you're extremely well off, presumably you've got savings, but most people don't have large amounts of savings. And if your savings are in your house now, they're pretty darn tied up. Maybe you can sell your house, and Ann Arbor hasn't been as hit as much as some housing markets, but you wouldn't want to have to sell your house tomorrow to pay your bills.